Tatum, what great team-first commentary from Jayson Tatum arriving at camp for Team USA.
This is totally separated from the NBA, and that's what he's doing. This isn't about going to the NBA All-Star game and getting the MVP and scoring 55 or getting the Larry O'Brien trophy and parading it around town. He shows up with a fresh haircut.
He did, yeah. He
looks good.
Short.
Feels like he's rested.
He looks young again, doesn't he?
I like everything that's coming out of his mouth. He's excited to be there, wants to win for the country, wants to do what he can and help the team. And, this kid's growing up. I love everything I'm hearing from Jayson Tatum.
He's grown. He's always spoken this way. This is who Jayson Tatum is.
Yeah, but no.
This is what I've been trying to tell you about Jayson Tatum.
It's different.
This is who he is.
It's different.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
It sounds different to me.
Disagree.
There's a different tonality to it because I think he's stamped. And I think he could, anybody can talk and give you something and give you what you want to hear, but it's how you say it. And yeah, we're tired of talking about it. No.
So you're saying he's just getting better at speaking publicly?
He's getting better. He looks more comfortable.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I think any player who's getting into their late 20s is better at the public speaking part than they are when they're first in the league. He was a kid when he came in the league. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I hope they get Tasmania in one of the rounds. That's the team that did the hookah. Remember that, Dan? Remember when James Harden was standing there?
They have the devil, the Tasmanian devil on that team.
This big dance, and Americans are just standing there like, what the F is going on?
Love that.
James Harden his mouth was wide open.
Intimidation factor.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he comes in with this team-first mentality. This is about coming together as a team. This is about representing your country. This is about trying to win a gold medal. That's why we put in this time, and we're sacrificing time away from our families to get this job done. We're here to do it. Doesn't matter how many points I have. That stuff doesn't matter. What matters is we win, that we get it. So you could take that and recognize the contrast between Jayson Tatum, a champion, a guy who's got hardware now, a guy who is stamped, as Zoe would say. You contrast that with Anthony Edwards, who hasn't won anything, showing up with this to say.
I'm still the number one option. I mean, y'all might look at it differently. I don't look at it no differently.
And how does that manifest? How do you go about it? You go about it the same?
Yeah, I just go out there and be myself. Shoot my shots, play defense, and, they got to fit in and play around me. That's how I feel.
So if you couldn't hear the audio's not great, but he said, I'm still the number one option. And at the end, he said, I just go out there and be myself, shoot my shots, play defense, and, they've got to fit in to play around me. That's how I feel. Oh, so everyone here on the best basketball team assembled on planet Earth is here to cater to you? That's what they're here for? That's their goal, is to come in and cater to Anthony Edwards, who we know is a great player, right? He's on the team for a reason.
Yep.
But you're not playing on the Minnesota Timberwolves here, pal. The guys on your team, they're just as good as you. They've all done plenty. They've all achieved all the same things you have and more, like Jayson Tatum, who actually, has a ring now. And maybe you'll have one someday. But what an absurd comment. At least have some respect for the guys on the team with you.
His ass needs to be Caitlin Clark.
What does that mean?
You know what I mean.
No, I don't know what that means.
Freeze him out a little bit. Pay a little special attention to him the other way. Ignore him a little bit. Make him earn his way. Freeze him out a little. You're the number one option? Okay. Yeah, you first time doing this, huh? All right.
Yeah, no, when he walks into the room and Steph Curry's standing there, Steph Curry says, "Oh, you know what? I'm just here to set you up and play around you. That's what I'm here for."
Jayson Tatum's really good. It's the first time I heard him say, we got to do what's right for the team. It's not about scoring points. It's not about 3 points.
LeBron and Kawhi and Steph Curry and Tatum now. How many rings are in that room? How many NBA championship rings could they bring in and set down on the table for him to take a look at to see what it is he will maybe someday have for himself?
A bunch.
How many gold medals are there in the room already?
A lot.
Guys that have been there and done this already. How many of those can they put down on the table? If you're LeBron, you're the old man, right, on the team?
Yes.
Like, what do you say to that kid? Hey, chill.
Yeah.
You never heard LeBron say something like this.
No.
You
No, but
never, ever heard
ways-
him say something like
There's
this.
ways they handle it and set the tone, too. Like, I don't know if you remember the Kobe Bryant one, but I think it was LeBron telling a story that just to set the tone for what we're going to do and what we're going to do here. He says, I'm telling you, when Paul Gasol, who he played with on the Lakers, was his teammate, he's on the other team. First play of the game, I'm taking out his chest. And he leveled him, flattened him. And LeBron's like, holy F, this thing's for real then. But, like, you need a Kobe like that on the team to check this kid.
This is why I've said it before, and
He didn't learn anything since the end of the year. Like, that's I like his brashness. I like the cocky part
He's
of
an
it.
alpha.
But, yeah, you get your ass kicked. You won one game. You got almost swept by the team that almost swept by Boston.
Yes. Transitive properties there.
Don't forget where you were last month.
I will take Jayson Tatum every day to listen to over Anthony Edwards.
Oh, God.
Disagree.
Yeah.
And I will take Jayson Tatum.
You front runner.
No, if I was a front runner, I'd pick Tatum. I'd looking at over the
Here's
line.
the thing. We had the debate already, and I picked Tatum at the
Yes.
time, and then he went and won the title. So I'm good.
Were the comments a little much? Should he have read the room in terms of the Olympic team? Yes,
Yeah,
but in terms
here's
of like
the problem.
the mindset,
Here's the problem. In a one game, one series thing, you're saying who could be the better player. I can see why people would say, well, I think that Anthony Edwards can be the player. But for the stability of keeping a team together, that is not your
Yes,
guy.
yes.
That is not the type of guy you want, because the teams that have that guy as their best player, they always blow up. They never stay together. There's no consistent success. There's all these up and downs. It's a roller coaster ride. I'm good. You think Steph Curry would ever say something like this kid said?
No.
And Steph Curry has been accused of being cocky before, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a little too cocky.
Yeah, chooses. Yeah, I don't know.
You would never hear Steph Curry say something like this.
Nope.
Because Steph Curry is mature. And that's why he had such a sustained run of success as a leader of the Golden State Warriors.
He embarrassed
Because
himself.
he's closer to Tatum than he is
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards embarrassed himself in front of his own closest peers.
He did for sure.
You're not playing with a bunch of chumps.
But
Like,
we
he's
just
got-
talked about Tatum maturing though too. The kid's 22, right? So it's an alpha kind of going off the rails a little bit in terms of what he says. So you hope that
You're on a
over the
different
few
plane.
years,
You know
he
you're
matures.
overseas. You're in
Man.
Paris. You're staying in
Yeah.
a certain place. You look how you're dressed. You know, everything says USA on it. This is different than the NBA.
There's
This isn't
so-
the Minnesota Timberwolves.
So many divas in this league. So many complete pains in the butts in this league. And I just think you should take a minute and recognize that the Celtics don't have those guys.
For stability of the franchise, you
They've
couldn't
got
ask for anything better.
So much stability.
Yeah.
And a locker room that has really, at this point in time, none of the remaining issues that it had just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's just a case.
What a shame.
You have none of that nonsense. You have none of that disappointment.
No, it's kind of a boring roster.
It's kind of a boring team.
Yeah.
You don't have any of that. But they went out and took care of business.
Yeah.
I would. If I were one of these other players, I would say, hey, relax.
What's that stuff you squirt in there?
Why don't
Is
you
it
relax?
Visine you squirt in someone's drink?
Okay. Why don't you chill?
A little X-Lax?
Because take a look around the room, pal. Okay?
No, he's not. He's
We know
not
you're
on that
good-
level.
We know you're a good player. You're here for a reason. We know. We're aware.
Yeah.
But to put yourself ahead of anybody else on this roster, you've got to be an idiot. Really.
Yeah, telling Steph Curry and those guys to figure out how to play around him is probably a little aggressive. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, no, please. Everyone bow down to me while I'm here. What's Steve Kerr going to do?
Do you not play him the
Nothing.
first game?
No, he's the first option. How do you do that?
I mean, Steve Kerr, Steve Kerr might make a point of it.
Right?
Like, yeah, you know what?
All right,
Yeah,
kid.
we'll see what you get for minutes against, I don't know. Who's in it? Who's in this
what I'm
thing? What do they got? When do they play Turkey? You know? I feel like
who's the
Turkey's always in
who's
the
the
mix.
Kobe a-hole that's going to take this serious and keep people in check? I don't know if they have one.
I need to see the bracket. Do we have a bracket? Is there an Olympic bracket?
When do the games start?
And if they don't have a bracket, why do they not have a bracket?
They should have a bracket.
They
You're
do
right.
the silly thing in basketball that they do in the World Cup and in Olympic soccer, right? Where they do like the groups, like are in Group B, Group C. How about we just do a bracket?
Yeah, so they're with Puerto Rico, Serbia, and South Sudan. That's their bracket.
The Olympics
Their
are missing
group.
out on an opportunity for people to fill out brackets ahead of the tournament.
That would be sweet if they just
Imagine-
did March
right?
Madness style.
Every 4 years, you get a July Madness bracket.
Can we gamble on it?
We'll call it the July Jubilee. I don't know, something like what are we calling it? I don't know. I'm trying to come up with it. Every 4 years you celebrate it. It's like an anniversary, but every 4 years.